What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Stan of SJ Square Photography, bring you back another video today. Now, today's video is another tutorial video I have for you today. I'm going to show you how I partially get away of doing my images without using dodge and burn. Yes, this is what this image is all about. I'm gonna show you how I use it without using dodge and burn. So this is gonna be a very partial and very quick video with this images right here. Now I believe this right here is gonna be a very, very perfect image to do this for because as you can see, this was a natural light photo that I took this during golden hour. If you follow me and you were able to see this during a live, I made this a live stream on my YouTube a few weeks back. Now, what makes this, what I'm gonna show you is this very, very quickly. As you can see right here, well, I should have showed you before and after. Let me go ahead and just go back to the before, to the after. I'm gonna show you how I get to here. Let me just go back here, all right? So I'm pretty much gonna show you how to get to here. As you can see, this is before and this is here. Now I'm going to skip around. I'm not gonna show you the whole entire thing. I'm just gonna do little bits and parts of this. So therefore you can kind of get a sense because I don't want this video to be too long. But we're gonna go from here to here. Now I'm gonna show you how to do all this without technically doing dodge and burn. So now I'm gonna go all the way back up here and just go back to the very beginning. Now, as usual, what I always do is I always go ahead and run my macros, which I got plugged right here. I run these macros, these are my thing. This is what I do, my high detail, high frequency layer macro. I have got a video before, go back and check that out, please, and show you how to do this step by step. And I'm just gonna go ahead and let that run. Now what this is gonna do is high frequency is gonna make it to a high and low frequency, which is a filter in an Affinity photo. Now what the only difference is between this is that I duplicate the high frequency and make this to 30%. This is what this is in. And then I went ahead and put a Gaussian blur. Now this is the very, very important part of this is the Gaussian blur on this to kind of make me helpfully get away with not really dodging and burning that I need to so early. Because as you can see, if you take away this Gaussian blur like I just did now, and tap it back on. As you can see, when you use a Gaussian blur on the low frequency layer, and then I also have it set to the blend mode of average, it really blends all the skin tones, all the different skin tones that you have in the image. It always brings it to an average pretty much. That's the reason why I got it blend to average. So therefore it really takes away some of the very small part of the dodging and burning that you necessarily have to do traditionally with this technique right here. When I just cut it off and I cut it back on again, it really does blend in and average out the skin tones of this Gaussian blur. That's the reason why I have it on the blend mode average. Now, what I pretty much do from here is I'll just pretty much just come in and I use my in painting brush. Now I always use a combination of in painting and cloning. When I first start doing, I always want to start on the low frequency layer, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just start getting and just really start getting away all of the mismatch of the dodging and burning. As you can see right here. Now I'm gonna do the eyes because this is gonna be a really good thing for the eyes here to show this. You can see right there how it cleans up really good. Gonna come in the inner corner of the eyes. Let me cut my force pencil so I won't get too big. Coming in, and I'm gonna come back over the other eye, just kind of get away from the bags of the eyes of that nature. And then I'm just gonna go around and just do little things all over that I see where the skin tones are not adding up together. And then what this does is it just makes it, the in painting brush just brings it out to the average like the in painting brush does. So it's just pretty much, this is pretty much my technique of me finally getting away with not really doing a dodge and burn. Now, dodging and burning can be a very tedious process. This is the reason why I kind of do this. And then I know you're wondering like, oh, this is a very tedious process. And it kind of is. I'm not going to say it isn't, but for me, it works a whole lot better because with dodging and burning, you have to be really, 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 really precise when doing dodging and burning. And it can take a little bit of time. With this in paint, all I'm doing is just, you know, painting the spots that I need to be even out of the skin tones, and it takes care of it. Now, if I come over here, you can see this big spot right here I'm about to cover up right now. Now, just watch how the in paint brush averages out the skin. See, it's just that simple. So that's why I said I enjoy using it this way. And it comes back to the point of where I have to use a mixture of all these different frequencies. As you can see, that's not really going nowhere. So I have to come through because that's going to be on the harder frequency because there's more detail in there. So I just come through and just use the hard frequency, and I want to come back and try to cover up some of the things. And then I use the 30 percentile to also come through and do the same thing. So it's a lot of duplicates, but it makes things a whole lot easier for me. Now here we go again with the skin tone right here. Like again, this is just more focused on the reason why I don't use dodge and burn that much in my images, because this alone gets me where I need to go, where I need to get my images at, and where I go. Now once again, I do use dodge and burn if I'm going to really be thing, but the problem with me is that I edit a lot of photos when I do these shoots. Like I edit a lot of photos more than average, you know what I'm saying? With this shoot right here, I did 28. If I did macro, I mean not macro, just dodge and burn in a period, macro, whatever, global, it would take me all day to do 28 photos. Like I'll be editing for already. So this technique I'm showing you, it helps me speed up my process and also gets me to where I need to, you know, close enough to dodge and burn, where it's a whole lot faster than what I did now. I do know how to dodge and burn. I'm not saying I don't, but I use this technique because normally I do a lot more images than normal when I do these. Like I just do a lot more images. So like I said, the in painting and just doing it this way, it just speeds up my process. You can see right there, that's not really. Now, if I want to come here now, I'm going to use the clone, and I want to sample here, and I'm going to go ahead and color that out and go ahead so that skin tone can matches. And once it does that, once again, I'll make sure that all that looks good. And then I will still come back, and then I will come back and do the in painting brush again, and just make sure that's all good and even out. And I do the other side the same way. I will go back to the clone brush, sample, and then I'm just going to color in what I need to make sure that's all even. And then what I do next is just come back through and just do the in painting, so therefore it can even out even more than what I need to do. That's just a little bit more crack. So I'm going to go back to the frequency to get rid of some of those. That's on the high frequency level, those details, just to get rid of some of the things like that. Go to the lower one, the higher one now, just on the more opacity, just to get rid of some of those things. So that's pretty much what I do from there. And then after a while, like I said, it just really blends it in very, very well. Now I'm going to cut it on before and after and just kind of show you everything that we've done so far. And this is once again how I get away with not really technically using dodging and burning in any of my images. Like I said, this is a faster way for me. And this model had relatively good skin, so this is also another reason. There wasn't a lot of different shadows or intake on as well. So it just really kind of works out a little bit quicker. So you can only imagine me. The thing I really kind of do is just really under the eyes. It can get a little bit messy underneath the eyes. You may have to use the clone brush. That's when I normally use the clone brush more than anything, is when I really get underneath the eyes here. And then try to use the clone brush here. And you can see how that details just a little bit too much. So here, I'll actually use the healing brush, as you can see. And then I will just kind of fill that in there and just soften up those little details where you can see on the eyes right there. But anyway, so if I come down here and take, let me get rid of this first. Let me get rid of that. Now you can really tell how much I got. Well, I'm gonna put it all in one layer is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna group it. You can really tell just by that and how quickly I was able to do that, how quick, me just doing that well and just even out the skin works well with that in this situation. That's the reason why I always just use the in painting brush, and then I'll just go through and just even out the skin tones like that. But the key layer really is to all this is this Gaussian blur, and making it in blend mode as an average is what really makes this the best, because if you don't really do that, then you're not gonna be able to blend, you're not gonna be able to blend the skin tones, where you won't be in there doing it as much as possible, or you will be dodging it or just in painting as much as possible. So as long as you do that and then come through and just start doing the in painting brush, you would definitely be a whole lot more efficient and faster the way I am. And of course, sometimes you just see stuff like, I'm just watching this, I'm just want to do this stuff, make a tutorial, even though the picture's already done and over with. But I just seen some stuff on here. Like, just want to kind of get rid of more of that hot spot there. and just even that out a little bit more. But it works pretty much. Like I said, sometimes even if that, like I was just use the clone brush to really kind of, you know, even more. What else I got to do is just be honest. I got to come here and heal that up because that's more of the high frequency that's making it look that way instead of the low. Come through here, clean that up even more. Clean that up, and then come back and just go back over it with the low frequency to even everything back up. Now, as you can see, and it does a pretty good job too. So that's the thing, like if this thing didn't do a good job, I wouldn't do it this way. But as you can see, look how I just got rid of that spot just a second ago, that hot spot right there. See, that's what I'm saying. It was that quick for me to get rid of that hot spot. As you can see right there. And this little area we just did around here, I just did a circle, but that little area there, look how quick it was. I was able to get rid of that just by doing the hand painting. So that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I really don't do as much as dodging and burning as on my photos. Like once again, simply because I do a lot of photos when I do edit these, when I do edit it, and dodge and burn it can take a little bit longer. And this way, the style I got was just doing it this way, it goes a whole lot quicker for me. And I'm able to get done and get more photos done because I do edit a lot of photos. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video that I have given you. I hope you go out here and implement it in your work in Affinity Photo. Now, if you like my work and you like my stuff that I'm doing on my channel, please consider yourself subscribing. Until the next video, guys, peace.